Just hear me out. Former Senator James Patrick Monahan, right? He said something. He said, look at them. Look at them. We don't need to do anything. They're doing it for us. They're doing it themselves. And he wrote a paper, and he wrote an article in the paper about that, about the Negro family, right, growing up in America. It's crazy, man. And anybody who know about this senator know what I'm talking about, right? You know, we are our worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? We are our worst enemy. Until we figure that out and we look in the mirror and see how much we love ourselves, then we can figure out how much we love those that we harm, right? So Patrick Monahan, he was on point. He was on point somewhat. He said some things, right? You know me, I'm doing my research because I got some things to talk about. And when I talk about it, I'm going to bring it to life. Because at the end of the day, we can't let those that have been holding us bondage through systematic methods get away with what they've been doing for over centuries. And we also can't allow this to hold us back or hold us down or even cage us. You know, a reason why I said all hearts heal in prison minds is because only we, right, that lack love and understanding or overstanding of the mind, right, is a product of your environment, right? Hands on, period. Yeah, right. I was about to say that. Product of your environment. That's crazy that you just read that out of my head. But at the end of the day, right, we imprison ourselves. And the reason why we imprison ourselves is because we believe that the state we in is a comfortable state. Because we have not seen or have traveled out of the bounds or chains that has been holding us down for so long, right? The time of putting blame on individuals is over. We know what we're doing. We know what's needed. We have to step up to the plate and get it done. As a people, right? We have to step up. As a community, we have to step up, right? This is wine, just in case, this is good for the blood. So, in any event, we're dealing with erosion of community. We're dealing with dehumanization and devaluation. And how do we break this? How do we break this, right? We have to figure out the way together as a unit to break this system. Okay? Because we already know they've been using it for so long that it's become immune to those that lack very much intelligence. How do we break this? How do we break this concept? How do we break the concept of product of your environment? Where do we start? In any event, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the youth, the youth in our communities, in our neighborhoods. We're talking about the adults with the mentality of a child in our neighborhoods that continue to manipulate and utilize our youth that has lack of understanding. And how men and women that do have intelligence and have become leaders have to come back into the environment and change this paradigm. If you become someone successful and came from a place of bondage, of oppression, right? Where do you fit in supporting our young youth, our young adults out here? This is the question. What do we do next? Where do we go from here? Me, myself, I'm about changing the narrative, changing the direction of discussion around a lot of things that they have seen to plague our community, or has been a facade that's saying that it plagued our community. Like for instance, people say gangs is this and gangs are that, right? Well, it was a point when gangs came to our community to support our community, protect our community. Those that came to oppress our community, they stopped them from oppressing our community. When we had lack of resources in our community, the gangs brought resources there. So how do we come back to that same place where we used to be? This is the topic of discussion, man. And I believe a lot of individuals, even young adults, need to be at the round table talking about what's the next move. If we're going to talk about the diversity, let's talk about first taking accountability and ownership of what we're doing wrong in the same place that we're residing in. right? That's first and foremost. Then secondly, let's talk about equity. Let's talk about equity. How many black people that's out there selling drugs own anything in their community? Or even trying to bribe back the things that has been taken from the community by those that's outsiders that's coming in and buy up the property. Do you ever think about that? Let's teach these drug dealers, young drug dealers, or whoever they are, how to deal with financial literacy. You know, how to take their money and turn it around and do something positive with it. So now that when they tell you to get off your block or get off in front of your building, you can tell them, no, I own this building, or I own this store, or I own this corner. You know, this is what it's about. It's about domains and owning the things that those that came after you have taken from you. And a lot of us don't really care about that because all we care about is fashion. We care about the jacket or the clothes on. You have to invest back into the community that you have destroyed. You have to. I don't care about any means necessary how you do it. You have to invest back in the community that you destroyed. Hands down, period. There's no ifs, ands, ways about it. Okay? This is what it's about. And you have to teach our young adults the same thing. You have to teach them about community and what it means. What's the breakdown of community, right? You know, what's the breakdown of wealth? You know what I mean? Because our counterparts teach their kids this at an early age. You know? That's just the truth. And I'm not pointing fingers. You know, I'm just pointing out the statistics and what's real and what's not real. You know, because when you're blaming other people for your sorrows or your failures, you got to first look at yourself and see why you're in the predicament you're in. You know, I never blame myself for doing the time I did. You know, period. Common unity, right? That's what it is. Common unity is community. We talk about this all the time. You know, building generations of potential mindsets. We have brothers and sisters out there with mindsets that is very, very out of this world. But what are we doing to help them generate or even build upon that or expound upon that of what they already own? Nothing. You know? Anybody out there that think I'm saying something wrong, you know, y'all welcome to join in and say anything, you know, speak upon it. You know, I'm here. Or if not, you know, on the 18th, come through and hear my story. Because it's, you know, it's definitely a success story. I came from the bottom down here, you know what I mean? But this is what it's about, man. It's about building self-confidence, you know, building communities and building generations after us, right? That can take reign of what's important. Maybe it's your child or my child. But it's going to be somebody's child that's going to have to take reign of this nation and this state, man, and and take responsibility for our young adults becoming successful, right? These are the kids of tomorrow that are doing the things of today that are negative. So what are we doing to turn that into a positive? You know, this is very, very important. You know, and on that note, I say peace, man. Come out and check us out at AHHIM INC, man. You know, on Hearts Hill and Prison Minds. We online site, support what we're doing. We're in Jersey City, we're in Maryland, we're in Georgia, we're in South Carolina, we're in New York City, in the Bronx. You know, come check us out, man. You know, we're an organization doing preventative work. You know, I really believe that if you're doing preventative work, you don't have to worry too much about the crisis thing. You know, crisis is only there and exists because there's nothing being done beforehand. You know, what are we doing beforehand to stop the crisis? You feel what I'm saying? You know, so on that note, man, I say peace. My name is James William Young III, and I am the president and founder of AHHIM INC, and I'm out here for your kids as well as my kids. Keep it safe. Peace.